Guys, let's kick this off to the bottom right side. Our blue Zerg player, this is Nerchio. And to the top left, our red Protoss player, this from Iron Chain, is PtitDrogo. This is actually an Iron Chain showdown. So Iron Chain guaranteed one player in the WCS winter from this series. Of course, the loser of this series will head to the lower bracket, where you can still advance to WCS winter. Of course, you actually only need to win one series once you drop down to the lower bracket. So you just need to win one of your next two series here, basically, as we get this set to go. Where is Pig Marble? Asks slowly. Well, it was actually very convenient, because when I got the new kitchen put in just, the last couple of days, they actually brought a skip. And I never thought there was a trash bin big, there's like a rubbish bin big enough for the Pig Marble. But when I saw the skip, I was like, maybe this will do. No, Pig Marble's actually in my living room, sitting on my sofa slowly, because I like squeezing it while I sit and watch TV. I like it. I don't keep it in my studio. God. Where's the WardiTV banner? It's at my old studio. It'll be coming soon. The whole shebang will be coming soon. The whole setup for this room, the posters and everything, and gonna start working on shelves now that my kitchen's done. Spicing up this room a little bit is my next job. That's my new plan. Nexus from Drogo on the way up here on the natural expansion. So getting that Nexus started, as we'll see the assimilator dropping in on Kairos Junction. Getting that started up here in the early stages of game number 1. Everything looking pretty regular for the moment. In PvZ lately, it's still very Stargate dominated. We've still been seeing a lot of Oracle play and so on. But while we've been seeing a lot of Oracle play and stuff, we have still been seeing some players switching up into like a Twilight first for like Glaives. The DT Archon drop opening has been very popular too. Now, Drogo just came back from Korea just a couple days ago, so I'm not sure what sort of style he's picked up over there. Quite often players go to Korea with one style and they come back with a completely different one. I would say in the past, Drogo was always like one of those players who would switch up just between a Stargate and Archon drops in general. As we see those couple of Lings coming in, and they are going to be chasing down that Probe. So Probe taking a little bit of damage there. As we see the couple of Queens are just on the way out, so getting those couple of Queens up at the moment. And yeah, just going to be seeing the Queen coming out to throw a Creep Tumor down towards the front of the Natural. So Creep Tumor coming down towards the Natural, and we see this Adept from PtitDrogo is going to go running around as well. Third Hatchery is sighted here, so just getting some information already, picking up on, obviously what the Zerg is doing. Yeah, taking a third base. Obviously right now you want to try and poke in for as much info as you can get, and he will die for a drone as well. Nice small crawler placement though, and the Adept obviously shades away to stay very safe there indeed. So Adept staying alive as another one will come across. The two Adepts is that point where the Adepts obviously become very scary. Obviously the two Adepts together can target down one drone at a time very easily, so definitely watching out for that. As we are going to be seeing the couple of Adepts coming in towards the upper left side. The Phoenix here going to start nibbling that Overlord, so feeling a good little bit of damage right now. We're taking quite a few shots. Obviously that's what the Phoenix is for, and it is Phoenix first, so Phoenix to shut down that Overlord right away. That generally means we probably won't see a second Oracle. A lot of the time if you want to go Oracle, double Oracle, you go Oracle first, because otherwise if you go Oracle Phoenix, then the second Oracle, then your opponent can see what's going on. And there you go, a second Stargate. So it is just going to be the one Oracle as he sets up into double Stargate Phoenix. So there's the play from Drogo, getting set to roll. So again, obviously you want to go like if you go like a little bit of like if you sorry, let me think what I wanted to say. I was explaining why you kind of go Phoenix Oracle. It's generally going to be not a second Oracle. It's just because as well, if you go Oracle Phoenix, then if you only build one Oracle, if you build a second Oracle, the rest of your tech is delayed, right? So then the Overlord going down later doesn't matter. But if you build, if you don't build a second Oracle, you can put your tech down right away. But then if the Overlord's still alive because the Phoenix has just popped out, then the Overlord gets a scout off, right? And that's not what you want to have happen. So that's a bit of a deeper explanation, a bit more analysis on the Oracle Phoenix choice and what comes, what comes first, the Oracle or the egg, or the Phoenix or the egg, or the Phoenix or the Oracle. Maybe the Oracle is the egg. Can you imagine that? Turns out in the Stargate, everything is just an Oracle, but a Phoenix is actually an Oracle that then explodes into a Phoenix. Think about it, right? Okay, it's going to sound crazy. Imagine if you unfolded an Oracle, right? This little bit goes to the right, and this goes to the left. Boom, it has wings. Oh my god, you're thinking, what? And then, like, the middle orb bit just expands out and, like, molds into the rest of the Phoenix body. Yeah, I know. You can fight me later, guys. I literally just explained how the Phoenix is actually an evolved Oracle. Can you imagine if a Phoenix actually built in from an Oracle? Like, you know, like Zerg morphs Ravages in from Roaches. Imagine if any of the races had, like, I mean, I guess High Templar morph into Archons, right? But, like, outside of that, not many, you know, units go into other things. Imagine you could get, like, 2 Marines and, like, 2 Marines stood on top of each other so they became a bit taller. So they could, like, disguise themselves into, you know, other people thinking there's, like, you know, they're, like, you know them movies, those bad shows where, like, 2 people stand on each other's shoulders and put, like, a long cord? Like, I'm just a really tall man. Maybe the Marines should be able to do that so they can sneak into the Zerg base more easily. Like, I'm just a really... I mean, I'm too tall to be a Marine, so I must be some sort of Zerg creation, abomination, mutation sort of thing. Phoenix picking off a lot of units already, but there is a counterattack from Nerchio, and with this counterattack coming across, you've got to remember that, well, there is going to be, you know, no Phoenix here to defend. But the force field so far is good. I mean, here comes the Oracle to pick away some of these Zerglings. Phoenix do come back in now. We'll start to lift those Roaches, but they use so much of their energy across the map. I mean, we'll just take a while to clean this out, and he doesn't actually have that much energy to continue lifting at the moment. So that is a little bit problematic as we see that Oracle still picking away at those Roaches. Lings flooding in towards the low ground base as well here now. So starting to flood down into this. As we're going to be seeing a few more of those Phoenix continue to lift those Roaches up. Lings trying to pick up that probe as we see, oh, good force field. Sentries going to save those Lings from getting on top of them. And in the end, it's a good shutdown from Drogo, who actually takes an army supply lead and, well, not a worker lead, but, you know, workers come next. I tell you what, Aspire from Nerchio, he's about to go into those Corruptors. We'll see how that works out for him in the next few moments, because he is really set to maybe shut those Phoenix down as this comes into play. We'll see if he goes Corruptors into just, yeah, Hydra Den coming down. Not going to be Corruptors into Mutas. That would be a bit crazy, but it can work sometimes, even with Phoenix on the map, because the Corruptors can zone those Phoenix real hard sometimes. Thank you, by the way, so much to Donflix, who donates $25. No message. Oh, sorry. It says Wardy Hype. Thank you so much for the $25, dude. I'll shout you out properly after the game, but this has been quite exciting so far. So we're going to dive back in right now and see what happens next, because the Corruptors are about to take to the stage. So those are popping out. And again, just going to be seeing the +1 melee attack upgrade coming in from Nerchio, as those Phoenix of Drogo are going to be coming through the top side. And they are going to try and chase down that Overlord. So Overlord going to be chased. Well, apparently they're not. I really thought they were, not going to lie. I really believe the Phoenix is going to kill that. It's crazy that Nerchio has 2 Overlords on this side of the map, and Drogo hasn't killed them off. And as you see, those Phoenix going to reposition now. He's only lost 1 Phoenix all game long. The resources lost 1,400 to 2,900. More or less 3,000, actually. I mean, kind of what you expect to see when you see Phoenix up against Zerg. 1,500 resources difference isn't actually all that bad, as we see the creep continue to spread forwards. And the few Immortals from Drogo are going to be coming in now as well, setting up on the left side. So we've got 5 Immortals, a couple of High Templar, and a couple of Sentries getting going as the Phoenix do eventually get that Overlord. It's just this one here right now. He's just staying incognito. Da-da, da-da, da-da. He's going to see the cannon building and everything so much. He's like reporting back home. Hive mind, hive mind. I'm telling you, there's a cannon building in the 3rd base. The rest of Nerchio's units are like, we don't care, dude. Like, we're not going to attack that base anyways. Didn't you hear? There's a Protoss army. And he's like, I don't know. I can't see that far. Poor Overlord, man. He thinks he's being so useful. He's just not. Just sat there doing nothing. Just chilling. Corruptors have a bit of a journey through the main base of the Protoss. I mean, a bit of a skirmish with some Phoenix. But the Voids are very good at pushing those Corruptors away. So, bye-bye Corruptors for the moment. But obviously still on the map. And if those Voids are out of location, boom, you can jump on top of a structure and caustic spray that down so quick. Oh, jumps in, grabs a Warp Prism. That's actually a nice pick off, and he's going to get a Phoenix as well. So those Corruptors still finding value. Still finding a lot of value as we see 22 Zerglings on the way up. Hydra's gathering here from Nerchio on the right side. Some Banelings morphing in as well. Let's do attack being Chrono boosted away here. Prism being Chrono boosted out of that Robo facility. Corruptors coming back down to the bottom side of the map here as well. Still looking for openings and opportunities. The Hallucinated Phoenix moving through in towards the, moving through the main base. Hive starting up from Nerchio. So getting that Hive started. And as we do see the units here from Drogo going to be pushing across over to the right-hand side. A couple of Mortals firing away there, picking off Lings and Hydras. Here we go. Bane's going to waddle forwards. No Bane speed just yet. Nerchio doesn't really connect with anything so far. The next couple of storms needs one more on top of a lot of those Banes. The Banes connect in. He kills all of the High Templars, so none of them morph into Archons. Drogo warps in another round of Zealots, but the Corruptors will kill the Prisms, so the Zealots don't get here. Oh man, and obviously these Immortals and Archons then don't have the support that maybe would have ended this game. It might not matter anyways, because the Hydras, there's not that many of them left over, and I mean, the couple Phoenix can lift up a couple too. Link streaming in will eventually clean up these Immortals. Man, if there was Zealots here, if that Prism didn't go down, this game probably goes the way of Drogo right then and there. But now, a little bit of a different situation. Kills 10 workers. I think he's still happy with that. Just needed something to protect those few High Templar that the Banes ended up just reaching in the end. They just managed to make it in towards those HTs. Imtez Carapace starts up here from Nerchio. Great Aspire on the way down now from Nerchio as well. So get set up into that as we see the Corruptors going to head on over to the left side. Zealots are going to be coming through. And again, 5 bases set up at the moment. I mean, I feel as though Nerchio is kind of like okay-ish, but Great Aspire is almost essential. I think those broods are so important for him. Drogo kind of feels like he just wants to attack again, man. More Zealots warping in. No sign of a fleet beacon to move towards a, a Tempest of his own to try and shut down those Broodlords or anything. Like, no sign of that at all at the moment. As we're going to be seeing those Corruptors flying overhead with the Banes and the Hydras. On the right side, we see a few Spine Crawlers added in to help deal with exactly this. I mean, not exactly that, but more of those Zealots would cause complications here, so getting those Spines up, especially as you start expanding elsewhere on the map too. Having to, being able to leave the Spines to get the job done, or to at least buy you some time before the hatchery falls or drones fall, can be very important for you. Army of Drogo coming back up to the top side. Broods finish morphing in, and we are just going to be seeing this Army of Nerchio continue to come in towards the top side. Income has been pretty good for Nerchio the last 7 or 8 minutes or so since he came out of that Phoenix stage of the game. See Drogo's army just really dropped there. Those Banes getting into the center was absolutely huge. Broods pressing forwards, and they're going to be dropping in some Broodlords there. The Storms, I mean, those were good right away. And there's just no real immediate answer to the Broodlords unless these Archons can get underneath. He'll start to storm them. So some Storms coming down. Bane's taking some damage there. A couple of them will get forwards. Needs to not let them hit the High Temple, though. I mean, the Broodlords are a little bit battered and bruised. Blink is about to finish up, so there's something of an answer to those, but you need to be able to blink underneath. And with the Hydras there, that's not exactly going to be all that easy. Now just keep on pressing in. Stalkers will blink forwards. That's 1 Broodlord. That's 2. So 2 Broodlords go down, but at the end, Hydras are going to be able to clean up the rest of this now as... it's just not enough. There's no Storms remaining, and those were so essential to the defense here. The Brood is just, again, not a proper answer to them. Just not quite enough. That's going to be GG. I love it. Thank you. And as we jump into game number 2, though, to the bottom right side, our Blue Zerg player up by 1. This is an Iron Chains Nerchio. Top left-hand side, this is going to be our Red Protoss player. This is Drogo. Did Rotterdam play again today? He did, but I don't know how well he did. I don't think he did as well as yesterday. Yesterday he did pretty good, actually. I don't think he did quite so hot today, unfortunately. But I'm not 100% sure. As we go into game 2 of this for the moment. Extractor going to drop down here on the side, so hatch gas and going to be a pool here as well. Let's get that spawning pool up and running. Nothing crazy from Drogo either. We saw Hellraiser against Stefano earlier, involved a lot of cannon rushing and gateways and robos coming down in the Zerg's natural. that's not happening here. Drogo just going to play a nice standard opening once again. So getting this set to go. And looking to see what his tech choices might be this time around in terms of maybe changing things up and stuff like that. Overload of Nerchio still coming in towards the upper left-hand side. He's going to try and scout out on that natural here. DNS actually just picked up that game against Ziggy that we were watching, so he will qualify for WCS Winter. Congrats to DNS. Overlord continue to come through. You can see what's up. Couple of queens and a few zerglings on the way out. Link speed will get started on that spawning pool as well, so getting that coming in now. Again, there's that Stargate up in the main. Wargate still coming through on the Cybercore, just getting started, and there's the first Adept to see what's going on now. Port Alexander compared to Kairos is a little bit of a smaller map. Everything is kind of brought a little bit closer together here. So pushing across is a bit faster. In general, though, you can kind of sit on your bases a bit more easily as well, I feel. Or you can push on your bases a bit more easily, too. It's kind of weird to explain. But because the bases kind of tend to go very quickly towards the middle, you're much more likely to kind of end up in a split map scenario where players can't engage on Port Alexander than you're on Kairos Junction. So if the game goes on a while, definitely watch out for that, perhaps. Kind of becoming a bit of a trend here in this game, as we do see this Overlord of Nerchio is going to be heading up that left-hand side to continue seeing what's going on with the Adept from Drogo coming across through the middle of the map as well. So there's that Adept shading out over to the left-hand side. So as it shades out over to the left side here, we do see the couple of assimilators from Drogo dropping down. Straight away just going into that gas. And again, Phoenix first from Drogo, so we'll see what his choice is going to be as he gets that set up here now. So let's see what his choice is going to be beyond the Oracle. Again, we'll see it in a moment or so, really. I'm just going to grab someone's vision for a second. I just want to refresh my own bracket and see what we should maybe jump into on the other game. Let's wait for a Marine Lord or a Stefano series, actually. That seems good. Alright, let's do that. Perfect. Alright. So, back to it. I mean, Oracle comes out, and again, straight into a second Stargate. So, Drogo says, well, you know what? Let's just get this going exactly the same way as we did in the last game. So, double Stargate Phoenix it's going to be. And as for this moment, this Oracle comes out, flying over to the right-hand side. Going to be coming across, and, well, now down. Flying in towards the third base. And it's going to pick off one drone. Second drone taking a little bit of a nibble as well. And, yeah, the Oracle pushed away up the right side here. Phoenix coming down the bottom side as well, and we do see a couple of Zealots going to be warping in from Drogo. A couple of Extractors dropping down, the Roach Drone coming into play from Nerchio as well. Getting all of that ready to go as you see the Phoenix and Drogo comes and nibbles away at that Overlord. So a couple of shots coming down. And again, going to be seeing the Queens pushing that Phoenix out over to the left side of the map, back to the middle. Again, there's our third Nexus coming into position here. As Drogo will just keep on expanding. Couple more Phoenix continue to come out right now. So all of these gathering up together in the main base, getting lots and lots of them underway. So that's going to be, what, about 6, 7 Phoenix at the minute? Time to start showing these on the map, of course. So here we go, heading down to the bottom right. Nice clump of Phoenix to start dealing some damage here. And we'll see if Nerchio will probably, well, we'll see if he can deal with these a little bit better than he did before. Because last game, he did lose a lot of the drones, right? You know, the Phoenix used so much energy on drones that by the time they got back home to fight, you know, to defend the roaches, they actually didn't even have the energy to defend the roaches. So let's see what he can do here this time as the Phoenix go between the bases. That's a Queen that's out of position, but the Spore actually somehow in range of that Phoenix. He just drops it and picks it back up. And it's a couple of drones for free as they come out of the hatch and start to head down to the low ground. That Queen going to be given up on pretty quickly as Drogo realizes can't kill that. Pulls the Phoenix back as well instead of rallying them in, and saves them from the Queen's wrath. As he sees another couple of Overlords out the front, so he's going to head towards there and loses the Phoenix. The Queens have been pretty good at staying on top of those Phoenix so far, and those Overlords actually kept alive by the Queen movement. Is now going to jump on a few more of those drones, so able to push those Phoenix up the right-hand side of the map. Is everyone else hearing that buzzing every few seconds? I don't hear any buzzing. It's kind of weird. You guys can let me know more about that. I'd be interested, because I actually don't hear any sort of buzzing or anything. It might just be my microphone connection sucking again. I'm definitely 100% getting a new microphone ASAP, guys. I'm working on it, I promise. Queen's coming in to push those Phoenix away up the top side. So the Phoenix end up backing away once again here. Groove Spine's on the way up from Nerchio, with the Infestation Pit now dropping down. Also in the natural, with those Phoenix coming down the right side. Infestation Pit is starting up from Nerchio, so getting that going as you see the Bane Nest coming in as well. So just going into Lingbane Hydra for the moment. But again, the fast Infestation Pit, maybe we see Lingbane Hydra with a set of Swarm Host too, or just a super fast Hive. And 7:30 in the game. Doesn't really have the gas to go into a bunch of Swarm Hosts, especially if he wants to kind of continue building Lingbane Hydra. We'll see what he can afford with the 4th base coming up. The Zergs keep taking this forward 4th base today. Well, not even the Zergs. Hearthstone took this forward 4th base today as well, rather than stretching his army out to defend down to the bottom. Interesting. It does help you to start controlling a bit more kind of the central area of the map, because it's so close to the central pathway here. Of course, makes it very easy to push into if your opponent has something of a pushing force. As it looks like the Infestation Pit, definitely not the Swarm Host in the end, straight into the Hive, and the Spire dropping down too. So it's just Nerchio already making preparations to get Broodlords out here for game 2. It's Nerchio going in towards the Hive tech. Gonna still see these Hydras chilling out. We're gonna see a couple of drones getting picked up. So it's a few workers getting picked up right there. And again, the Phoenix just hanging out far right hand side now. A few Zerglings on the way. And the +2 melee, the Bane speed, etc. All of this about to finish up now, as we are going to be having this press forwards of Nerchio soon in towards the Broodlords. What does Drogo do about it? I mean, at the moment he's been very passive, right? He hasn't really been doing too much beyond the Phoenix. This game, a lot less lost from either side, about a 900 resource loss difference compared to 1500. As we do see the Prism loading up a few Zealots on the bottom side, so jumping into that Prism. And again, the Phoenix on the right just hanging out. Adrenal Glands on the way up on the spawning pool, so just upgrading those Zerglings again. Scouts into the main, sees the Hive. Greater Spire is on the natural. And he saw the Spire on the way up, and he just, I think, sees the Greater Spire on the way, so yeah, he knows the Broodlords are coming. So I think if Drogo wants to do something here, I mean, he does drop a Fleet Beacon, but he's also going to try and hit before Broodlords. The idea being that if you're starting to build Corruptors in preparation for those Broods, obviously they're not going to help out in a straight-up fight, so it's kind of a nice time for you to attack in and to kind of punish the Zerg for teching up. So let's see if Drogo can make something happen with this push forwards then. It's going to be seeing the army here of Drogo pulling back down to the bottom. Hydras and Lings in, well, a set for a bit of a surround. Bane's on the top side, pulled back. But I feel like that was the opportunity to get the High Templar. Still is. Oh my god, 4 of the 6 High Templar go down. Meanwhile, big warp in the main base though. Phoenix still sat here as well, maybe ready to jump on something. And that's just an Overlord or two that's spreading creep over there. The Zealots in the main get shut down instantly. The rest of this army, I mean, there's only really a couple storms available. Now Banes are rolling into a singular Archon though, so that's not so effective from Nerchio. Lings wanting to come down this ramp. Another Overlord picked off. Phoenix picking up a whole bunch of drones. Lings from the top, Lings from the bottom. Hydras as well, surrounding this army. Immortals and Archons going to be taking a bunch of damage as Hydras from the right side coming through and able to pick off a bunch of these Phoenix as well. So loads of damage being done. Archon gets picked up as well. I'm just going to see a couple Tempests on the way out. You're going to see the Zealots coming in. Going to try and hold this off in the center. You guys want me to try and unplug my mic? Yeah, I try and unplug my mic and reset my mic. I'll do it after this next game, actually, guys. Take a quick break. I'll just do a quick unplug and replug of everything. I have had some issues with this microphone cord. So, again, I'm working on getting a new microphone in general anyways, actually. So I just ask that you kind of just put up with it at the minute. I do apologize if it's a little bit frustrating. Anyways, you do see the Tempest obviously on the map makes it a bit easier to defend against those Broods if they'd ever come out, but they didn't. So now it's actually Lingbane Hydra against 4 Tempests, a couple of Storms. Well, that's about it. So I actually kind of like this position for Nerchio, because I feel like right now, I mean, he's getting Ultras. I feel like his army is actually pretty good to just maybe jump on Drogo. Drogo has a lot of money in the bank. If he spent that, maybe it'd be a bit different. Well, there's a couple of Storms coming through. But I said jump on him. You still have to be a little bit careful of those Storms, right? I mean, Storms are Storms. They will deal a lot of damage. And it's the Tempest, though, that just don't really do anything against the massive Hydras. I imagine there wasn't those Storms being so effective there. I really think that was maybe an opportunity. Zealots warping in now, and the Hydra's already low. They have to back away. The Storm is really saving Drogo. I mean, again, that was the one thing he had against what Drogo had, against what Nerchio had set up. And there you have it. Hydras and Lings will gather down to the bottom. I'm just going to be seeing a couple more Tempests on the way up. A couple more Vipers are being built as well. +2 missile attack upgrade coming in on the Evolution Chamber behind the Natural. So getting towards that +2 missiles. As we do see Tempests and Archons, Zealots as well. All of this gathered together from Drogo, who will start to come up towards the top side of the map. And we're going to chase down a few of those Lings, some of those Hydras. Zealots will charge on in. Prism on the bottom side as well, but we also have a run by into the center. Lings and Hydras looking to try and shut down the forward 5th base from coming up here. Ultra's now on the way out as well. Gets that base, not even cancelled. Straight up kill there. Lings running to the left side, but Cannon's able to defend. And again, this Hydra army continue to pull away from Nerchio. Back over to the right on the top. Lings and Hydras continue to gather together as well. And we are going to be seeing those couple of Tempests, those few High Templar, moving around in the middle of the map. Ship on the way out, obviously always nice to get that cloaking up in the skies. Makes it a bit more difficult for Nerchio to see kind of what the army is, where the High Templar are positioned, for example. Even just not seeing where the High Templar are positioned can actually have quite an effect, because oftentimes you'll send your Banes in a certain direction to try and hit the Templar, etc. And stuff like that, as we do see this army just gathering up still. I like this, the group of Zealots around the top side. Hydras in the main will be dealing with these couple of Zealots that dropped in from the Prism. That did survive and is still there. It may be coming again in a moment or two. Oh, going to abduct a couple of Tempests in to start this off. Banes are running forwards. Storm or two coming down as well, as I think Drogo is almost desperately trying to sort of pull back away from this here. High Templars got their Storms off, though, morphing into Archons, and Nerchio backs away again. Now Zealot's going to hit this base. There's a few Spine Crawlers in position, but nothing too crazy. Just going to be able to start, well, he decides not to go for the Spine. He's just going to go for the Hatchery. Try and get the kill on this, as the Lings in the main base cleaning up the Zealots there too. Drogo not able to make any progress against any of this at the moment. More of these Zealots continue to drop as we see the Archons, the Tempests, and the Zealots in the middle of the map from Drogo. Still seeing where they can go. +2 missile attack upgrade from Nerchio, going to be finishing up on the Evolution Chamber. And Hydras and Lings just going to be moving around, moving forwards, and we are just going to be seeing the army of Drogo just going to want to maybe push forwards. Kindness playing starting up from Nerchio there, as we're going to be seeing a couple of Immortals on the way out as well. Dark Shrine coming up in the main base. And you see again a few more Ultras on the way out. Kindness playing on the way up. I mean, it's had Ultras for a while. The fact he didn't have Chitinous is somewhat surprising. We'll actually lose the Bane Nest here. Ultras just couldn't get through. The Bane Nest blocking it. And the 16-minute game on Paul Alexander is starting to go the distance. Again, you can kind of see the idea as I talked about early. It's very easy for Drogo to kind of stay up a ramp and still apply pressure. And compared to on Kairos Junction, you just don't have that same sort of potential, and there's a lot less opportunities for the Zerg to really surround you here. So you start splitting that map a lot more here on Port Alexander. And kind of allows Drogo to play a lot more into the... I mean, obviously, set up into Tempest helped him into the later game as well. So, yeah, definitely looking good. Dark Shrine about to finish up, as we do see the +1 shields about to finish, and as we see the Nexus on the top side actually going to cause a fight here. The Storms come down, the Hydras already. And I feel like Nerchio's just absolutely lost everything in this engagement. Those few Overseers hanging out overhead are actually occupying a couple of the Overseer, a couple of the Tempests. Ultras and Lings run by the bottom side at the same time. Drogo feels as though he's killed a lot though, so he'll keep pressing forwards. Hydras, a few that are left over, are still fighting Tempests, and again, those Tempests not great against Hydras. There's so few of them, and yet they're doing so much. However, the army that's moving forwards from Drogo feels a bit too powerful, and I think Nerchio is going to end up in a lot of trouble in the next few moments, because I just don't think there's an army to shut this down now. Ultras are on the way out, but there's Immortals here to target fire that Ultra down. It should go down pretty quickly, really. And the High Templar getting the Storms off to help against the Lings and the Hydras. That's a GG, and Drogo will take a game number 2 to force us to a game 3. Practice in for a couple minutes of ads as we jump into the top right side of Cerulean Fall with our blue Zerg player from Iron Chain. In this Iron Chain showdown, it's Nerchio. As the bottom left, our red Protoss. Again, not quite as eager to end the game as on Kairos Junction as he was on Port Alexander. He just played a bit slower, and he played out well. That's the top bottom left. It is PtitDrogo. And there's France versus Poland. Iron Chain versus Iron Chain. Protoss versus Zerg. Best of 3. Kind of like Nerchio's position in the last game a little bit, but I feel there was a couple moments he missed out on opportunities. Anyways, it's a very early pool from Nerchio in this game number 3 now. You guys probably saw that in production tab already. So a fast pull into the hatch, then the gas, but only 13 workers, so really hoping to get damage done here. As these Lings will poke forward. Zealot comes in, tries to surround it. And again, just going to be seeing the Zealot again, getting a swipe or 2 off. Probe pulls forward, needs to be careful. Zealot again dealing some good damage. Lings getting pushed away a little bit. Never Zealot about to pop, and this is a defense from PtitDrogo, sorry. And really, I mean, at this point, you're already in an amazing position. Up 7 workers. Okay, your Nexus is slowed down a little bit, but it's, I mean, it's a 6-7 worker difference in favor of the Protoss, who now also has 2 Zealots and about to be 2 Adepts as well. He'll get Adept 1, then Adept 2. And that's going to be a lot of units to push across the map with if he wants it. He's actually going to get Adept 2, but he doesn't go with the Zealots yet. Doesn't want to leave it unwalled. Probably wants to pick up some information with the Adept first and then figure out what this follow-up is, because obviously he's a little blind as to what's going on. He didn't see the Extractor, for example, when he scouted in previously. He doesn't know if this is a Bane bus or so. Obviously it isn't. We know that, but Drogo doesn't. Drogo will drop down the Stargate now as well to go in towards his tech choice here. Shades through, sees those slow Zerglings. And the Adept will not commit to that shade, of course, will just cancel. And well, the second Adept will go across as well. Still just keeping the Zealots at home, though. That's not that bad. It's it is nice, though, if you can kind of force a few more units out, right? Because your opponent's already been struggling on workers. If you can force that to be expanded a little bit, then that can really hurt you as well. As we do see the 2 Adepts together, I'll go in to start pressing forwards towards that natural. Shading up through the natural. Sees those couple of Queens. And we'll try to pick off... Nope, apparently not. We'll not try and pick off any drones, just going to cancel the shades. Again, just wants to keep the Adepts alive and keep the pressure up. Remember, there's no 3rd hatchery yet from Nerchio, I say, as he moves 1 drone over. Adepts want to shade onto it. Oh my god. The drone isn't going to die, but does become the Extractor. The Adepts don't commit to the shade, because he knows speed is finishing soon. And boom, out of nowhere. Not really out of nowhere, but we do get the setup there for the... Adepts just go home. So the Adepts just go and head back home. This time it is going to be double Oracle from Drogo, so changing it up a little bit. Remember, he's not had a 3rd hatch. His natural was late, so generally Nerchio is on a little bit of a later set of Queens. So the double Oracle definitely has potential to maybe pick up a bit of extra damage to usual. Maybe popping in, just going to be getting a drone. Not quite 2 there in the end as the Spore and the Queen pushing that Oracle away to the right side. Hatchery from Nerchio on the 3rd base coming up as well as the Lings pop over. And we're just going to be seeing the creep spread from Nerchio continuing to come in towards the center. Pops through, and we are going to be seeing the Oracle coming all the way across the left side. Hatchery dropping down here. A few extra gates on the way up, and the Robot Facility and the Twilight Council coming up here as well. So obviously the switch up in towards... don't think we've seen Drogo follow over with an Archon drop yet today. It's always been that double Stargate Phoenix. So going to be going in towards the very different follow-up now to, compared to what we've seen before. As you see this Oracle coming down at the bottom, as the Roach and the Lair on the way up, and the Templar Archive starting up from Drogo in the main base as well. Just getting that going as we do see these Zerglings from Nerchio going to be heading down to the bottom left-hand side. A couple of Adepts and Zealots here going to get surrounded by these Zerglings, so they are going to actually take a fight. Nerchio is going to be able to clean up all 4 of those units, so that actually opens up a bit of pressure on the third base where this probe will go down. I mean, the Oracle comes over. Oracle. Plus 1 Oracle. Sorry, he didn't actually make a second Oracle at all in the end. But he really made a second Oracle. Am I crazy? I feel like he started one, man. Maybe I'm just crazy. God damn it, Wardy. I thought you'd been taking your medication. If you had Devil warping in, obviously they're going to morph into Archons and the pressure will set up. Now, with the Immortals in production, I would imagine this turns into quite an aggressive push from Drogo, where he actually goes with like 3 Immortals or so, and you'll have about 2 to 4 Archons, and it actually is really, really powerful. It hits at like 8 minutes or so, 8:30. Obviously, the timings may be a little bit off in this game because of the 12 pool opening, so I'm intrigued to see what happens. Obviously, the more damage you do for the Archons, the harder it becomes for Nerchio to then defend that attack, although right now, the Archons deflected very easily. It's Prism looping back around. Excuse me. As you see, the Roaches and the Queen starting to deal some damage. Prism getting pushed out in towards the center. And we do have the Hydralisk Den dropping in on the back of the third base. So Hydralisk Den getting set up. And again, the Prism just pulling away across the left side. Roach speed just over halfway done as another Evo Chamber going to start up as well. Those Archons dealing a lot of damage to those Lings. They're getting quite a bit of damage done there. Dropping up to the high ground now. We'll get at least 1 drone before having to pull away. Obviously, really important to keep this Prism alive. There is now Immortal number 3. And with the sentries already warped in, it's very suggestive of that push forwards. I mean, he is still making probes for the third base. But let's see what he can do with this attack. Again, the third Immortal here in a moment or so. He still has the Prism alive, although very low now. Sorry, we missed it going back in and taking extra damage from the Queens. But it does mean that we're in this position where we have a huge army from Drogo ready to press forwards and maybe possibly be able to deal some real damage here. Oracle comes in, drops down a Revelation on the natural expansion. A few drones, Spore Crawler, and a hatchery tagged. Just looking for info, really. And in the end, looks like Drogo is not too interested in being aggressive. Just going to sit back and leave the Oracle on the map. Even the Archon's coming home. Where's the Prism going? Prism's going to go to the right, probably look to warp in Zealots in the main base or so. This army of Drogo gathering up on the third, as we do see the Prism is going to start heading, or continue heading up the right-hand side. Forge coming down, a few extra Zealots on the way. Immortal on its way up as well. And as you do see, the Zealots lifting up into the Prism there. And going to continue to go up the right side. Roaches and Hydras from Nerchio. Going to keep on moving down the left. Couple Archons coming over. Doesn't quite find that Zergling. So here we go. This push was a bit later than I thought it would be. It's not quite the push I was talking about, if I'm going to be honest. But if the Zealots warping into the main, distracting, of course, pulls units out of position to give access to that 4th base. However, Hydras and Roaches on their way forwards, looking to set up against this. Because it was a Archon opening, we saw the Roaches early from Nerchio, so it's a bit of a different comp from him. He didn't switch it into Banes at all just yet. And that's a great 2 sets of Force Fields. Like, Force Fields here, blocked units off, and caught some units. And the Force Fields there were just brilliant as well. He breaks them down now with his own Archons. That was a good setup here. Biggest worry for Nerchio is, for Drogo, of course, though, is this attack can't be reinforced by a Prism because the Prism was out across towards the main base. It got killed off. That harassment ended up killing 11 drones, though. And Drogo getting out of here with the Archons alive, even though some of them were super low on shields. That's really great, as that's a dead Immortal. Now he gets the recall off. Just a bit of a rallying mistake there, as Nerchio capitalizes on whatever he can. Obviously, Nerchio, a player who, throughout the WCS system in 2018 and 2017, he's been so consistent. Made it to BlizzCon 2 multiple years in a row. He's, you know, Mr. Consistency really is a phrase a lot of casters use to describe him, because he is always making it to these events, and he's always making it into the higher sections, round of 16s, round of 8s at least. He won DreamHack Valencia back in 2016 as well, of course, after finals in DreamHack Tours just a couple months earlier. And again, hasn't maybe been in championship winning form since then. You know, that was back towards the start of Legacy of the Void. And the start of Legacy of the Void, Nerchio was an absolute legend. Like, he was so good in the Legacy of the Void beta. In fact, he's probably the best player in... I always want to say the best player in the world. Maybe not quite the world, but he was so good. He was so freaking good. He was definitely the best in Europe. And I just gotta say, like, yesterday he really struggled to try and qualify. He had a really poor performance in the qualifier. And today, I mean, obviously he's in a qualified match now. I'm just saying, if he got knocked down, it would be a surprise to see him struggling so much to qualify. for this WCS event, after usually he is just so good. Lurkers coming forwards, and they're going to drop down as Hydra's pressing in. A couple of Archons taking damage. And the Lurkers are obviously going to be pretty good for him here, seeing the switch up that he's been heading to for a while. As we see Drogo flanking in, another Storm will clean this out. And Nerchio's Lurkers dropping down there. As again, I mean, Drogo just has the composition he needs. Lurkers on the left side. Didn't get any workers. Good pull away by Drogo, keeping his economy stable. And those Lurkers on burrowing and backing away. Obviously a good idea from Nerchio as well to minimize any damage from being taken. Lings and Lurkers hanging around the left as we do see this army of Drogo. A few of these units going to push forwards. Adaptive Talons on the way up. And +2 missile attack on the Evo Chamber about to finish as well. So that's going to be finishing in just a few moments' time as the Lings try and jump on top of this. These Arts going to warp in as well. You know, we're going to see those 2 High Templar morphing into an Archon. So they're going to morph into an Archon. Oh, the Stasis Ward catches some of those Zerglings too. And so that's going to be those stopped from retreating. Might be able to get some of those kills that he wouldn't have usually gotten then. On Nerchio, this game is on the Hive Tech once again. We have not seen a Spire at all though. Just getting that Hive Tech for the Adaptive Talents. I mean, the Lurkers are fine as long as it kind of stays on this sort of composition and in these sort of numbers. But as soon as the Protoss Army gets a little bit larger here, and as soon as the Protoss Army starts to get into that position where it starts to tech up a bit further, such as with this Fleet Beacon and those extra Stargates, that's when Lurkers become very difficult to really make effective at all. So, you know, I feel like Nerchio's on a bit of a timer, but it's a timer he can reset with some good fights to slow the Protoss down. Lurkers throwing up here again, and Mortals kind of want to go for it, you can tell. I mean, Mortals kill those Lurkers so quick. And Templar comes forward. Is that a Storm available? It is not for another few energy yet. Storm's on the high ground though, again, just bringing them down a little bit lower, makes the Immortals kill them that much faster. And Drogo again is going to pick these Lurkers off relatively quickly. And he still loses quite a bit in the process. Usually, you know, I mean, the Lurker splash damage is pretty high. As he does pick up a couple of changelings as well, as 2 of those Lurkers escape out of there. It's just those Lurkers are so expensive every single time. You can see that Nerchio's been trading a little bit worse than Drogo, and with the fact that if we look at the income graph, Nerchio's had a good income lead, but that's starting to slip away a little bit. Might come back into Drogo, into Nerchio's favor as some of these bases get saturated around the edges of the map. Nerchio taking that upper left base for his 5th. I mean, choosing to ignore this base early on basically means that that base becomes much easier to hold because you already have this base. So then it's just sort of controlling this area here, and then not much can actually get to this top left-hand side. And he has good creep here too, which really allows him to take this base even more easily. Well, Nerchio going to try it from a different direction now. Lurkers are going to start burrowing. Already this Archon taking some good damage as the Hydras press forwards. I mean, it's again, these Lurkers, if they can just step in a little bit, not step, but kind of like leapfrog forwards, I suppose. You can see right now, I mean, no Storm available. The Lurkers are just not going down that fast. And the Immortal count is taking some real heavy hits here. There is a DT on the top left-hand base, so doesn't matter what you control, DTs are invisible, so if there's no detection there, that sucks. As, I mean, now probes are in trouble. And this base starting to go down. Drogo is in some real trouble trying to fight against this. Another Immortal will drop down too. Lurker shot still firing, and we do see the Nexus is going to be saved because the Protoss Army will jump on this army right now, but was it a bit too soon? I mean, maybe. The Nexus ends up going down as well. You can see that Drogo was just desperate to save the Nexus, right? And that's why he kind of just went in right then and there. His last few Zealots will probably clean up, but obviously Nerchio killing that. It gives him so much potential to kind of move forwards with, because at this stage, Nerchio is in a position where the game looks very good for him. He just has to sit back a little bit and rebuild, and he's down 75 workers against 65. 65 workers that can't even saturate the bases of Drogo now. He's oversaturated here. He's long distance mining with a ton of probes off that 4th he just killed. So, again, Drogo is in a trouble with the economy, and if Nerchio keeps up this pressure, he's going to be able to do wonderful things for himself. And again, those Lurkers, they worked out because they hit in that timing window where they were still going to be effective. And he's done enough damage to keep Drogo in that sort of window of opportunity for Lurkers. And so they've been able to keep on engaging and keep on being very successful. Lings and Hydras from Nerchio now coming around the right side. Going to send a few to the left as well. A couple probes going down. I'm not actually sure to what. Maybe a couple Lings just showed up somewhere. I'm not sure where that was at all, actually. Hydras going to get the Zealots. You see some Zealots charging forward here as well. High Templar Storm. Grabs a couple of Hydras. We're going to see the Lings running in from the right side. Gets a couple of HDs as well. Pile on the high ground. Going to take some shots. Hydras being stormed away, but actually the storm missing a little bit. Some drones going down on the other side of the map as well as a couple of Zards ran by. So they get dealt with as, oh, targets the high NG Templar. Gets one, gets two. Nice play with the Hydras. Good anticipation of what was going on there. And as we're going to be seeing the Hydras backing away from Nerchio. And again, just keeping it difficult for Drogo. Another 10 probes killed as well. Two more Templar warping in on the right side. Hydras from Nerchio set to push up this ramp. See what he can do. Got a couple of those extra cannons coming into play now, so here you go. The Hydras up the ramp, gets rid of one cannon. Oh, forces the High Templar into an Archon. Will kill that. Thanks very much. The High Templar didn't have the energy for Storm just yet. They were too freshly warped in. And so while they were waiting, those Hydras come in. Well, tried to morph an Archon to save them. Didn't happen. Take a moment to breathe, because this game's been pretty hectic with Nerchio being all over the map lately. Another couple of High Templar warping in here. 8 Corruptors on the way up from Nerchio. As we see Hydras running over to the right-hand side. Nice revelation here, dropping on the Hydras as well, keeping track of where they might go. That Oracle putting itself to use throughout the entirety of this game. Just gonna see a few of those Crypt Jammers getting picked off, and well, game's slowing down a little bit, but it's still only really Lurkers from Nerchio. I mean, he has a Spire now that he's still yet to really use. So that's something we're yet to see really truly coming into play. It'd be great if we did see that. Maybe abused a little bit here. So we have a moment or two. Thank you so much to Pestruzzi coming in with the $5 donation. Says Torilla. Thank you so much for the $5. I appreciate it. Kind sir. Much love. Well, Zealots, High Templars, and Archons are pushing in towards the creep. Drogo trying to do something against this. I mean, he's about to get a 5th base up on the left side, which is really good for him. Find the right. I mean, the Lurkers get burrowed up pretty quickly. The Tempest's obviously pretty good against the Lurkers, but there's nothing to support these Tempests here. The rest of the army's over to the left, so the Tempests are all going down because of the Hydras. Oh no, the Lurkers here as well are going to do some good damage. Corruptors will get rid of the Tempest. I tell you what, in the end, those Storms do more damage to Zealots, I think, than anything else. Dodges another Storm or two as he tries to get the Mothership. Oh my god, the probes were stacked on the gas, and the Lurker shots are deadly. Oh my god, and the Corruptors are going to end up getting the Mothership as well. Costs him a lot, but obviously he already cleaned out the Tempest, so he doesn't mind too much losing this. With the 24 workers killed, that was actually a little bit ridiculous. I'm trying to see if one of these Lurkers has like a ton of kills over the others, or if it was all spread out. It was, I mean, the workers just stacked, and that wasn't pretty. As now this base is going to go down too. I mean, more probes going to go down as well, and Drogo knows he can't make this happen. Nerchio will qualify for WCS Winter